next to my bathroom in my basement. This is My Worst Holiday, a podcast about your worst wedding, funeral, bachelor party, bachelorette party, or whether it's funny after the fact. We want to hear it. And today we have a very special guest, author, game maker, Jeff Ignatowski. Jeff, say hello.
Hello. What's going on out there, everybody?
How are you, man?
I'm not sure, you're breaking up.
I said, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just enjoying the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah?
It's been a beautiful day.
Oh, it has been. It just started storming. Where are you at?
I'm in Cincinnati.
You're in Cincinnati. That's right. Yeah, it just started storming here.
Oh, you can keep that shit.
Oh, yeah. Like clouds and thunder and shit like that. Like the whole like a whole springtime vibe. I'm not mad at that.
No.
A little bit to go get me a cigar for tonight. And
Dude, I would much rather have that than the bullshit 4 feet of snow.
Oh, no shit. God,
yeah.
Nobody told us we was going to get the entire winter in one weekend. Like the whole fucking thing, like winter, boom. It was just like fuck. Like,
what happened? Shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've been pretty lucky this year so far, though. I mean, we've actually had a pretty decent winter, other than just fucking January. You know, like, yeah, that sucked. So,
yeah, I think we've gotten a total of a quarter of an inch here, and usually we get like 3 or 4 at least. Yeah. Talking 5-6 years ago, we'd get like maybe a foot and a half a winter. But yeah, the last couple of years we haven't got shit. And I'm not complaining. Not at all.
No, I don't. I'm not a fan of any season where women have to put on more clothing.
Absolutely.
I'm not a fan of that. You know, I bet that chick's hot under that shirt, jacket, vest, scarf, fucking.
Yeah. Like I can almost see the shape.
Exactly. Oh, I bet she's just banging underneath all that.
What the hell, guy?
You got to use your imagination, and I do, Jeff. I really, really do. I use it really, really, really well. I think it's
Dude, I don't understand how people in like the 15th century and shit, like with all the petticoats and all the things on, you could only show your ankle, and these guys were getting like rock fucking hard, super excited about somebody showing an ankle. Like they would lose their goddamn mind on the beach in Miami right now.
Yeah, did you see the ankles on that? Oh, whore!
There'd be lots of people going straight to hell.
You think she likes me? They say tablecloths were really used to cover legs on tables so as not to stimulate a man, not to encourage his imagination.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the real shit. That's fucked up. So, Jeff, tell us everything about you, man. You got the floor.
All right. So, there's a lot of fucked up shit when it comes to me.
Yeah.
So, I actually grew up right outside of Philadelphia. So I grew up on the East Coast, which is why
battery throwers, huh?
Yeah, I got. I have quite the East Coast personality, which is why I'm in everybody's face. And, it's just, it's where I grew up. So I'm kind of used to that. And so, coming to the Midwest, right? Because Cincinnati is not the Midwest, but we all call it Midwest here.
I'm a little south of Chicago. I'm from the Midwest. And actually, I moved like 2 hours north of where I really was. I'm a hick. I mean, you give me a knife, you throw me in the woods, I'm all right. I'm going to make it. Did you see the flannel?
I know. Look at that. That's nice. I wore my sporty like jersey for my business because it's like Super Bowl Sunday, right?
Right.
Even though this is a baseball jersey, and I couldn't give 2 fucks about the Super Bowl. Not at all. Doesn't matter what team is in it. I don't care at all.
I even watch like last year it was the XFL. Now it's the UFL. I watch it. It's like the methadone of football. I mean, it's not a heroin, but I'll take it. Like I'll just give me a little, man.
Yeah, for me, and of course, football is violent, man. Football is
Yeah,
a violent sport.
that's why I
If
like it.
somebody is not getting punched in the face or they're not choking the shit out of each other, I am not interested in watching it. Not at all. Uh, but I also fought professionally for a long, long time.
Oh, did you?
Uh, yeah, not saying that I was any good because it really wasn't. But I did. I fought professionally for a long time. I found that I was a much better coach than I was an actual competitor.
Oh, there you go. You
It
can't
just
do.
happens. Yeah, it's a thing for real.
Right.
But and so I've spent most of my adult life doing some form of coaching or teaching. I was at one point I was the regional group fitness coordinator for Crunch Fitness. I ran a whole bunch of fitness businesses, a retreat business for a while, and I love that stuff. But I also love true crime and writing.
Yeah.
I've been God. I started writing when I was like in grade school, writing like short stories and shit. And I was really just copying off of Stephen King
Yeah,
and
I did
doing.
all my writing was Blue Oyster Cult based. Like I was, it really was like they were my favorite band. I'm like, oh yeah, Season No Further Reaper. That's a great fucking story. Like I should write what he wrote in a song and call it mine. Like
Yeah. Oh my God. I found a paper not too long ago
Tracy's watching.
in this fucking box, right? And it was basically the It story in about 15 pages, right? And I called it the Monster of the Lane.
How do you convince?
Yeah,
That was the worst. Fucking, it took me years to write it because I just kept fucking throwing it down because it just sucked so bad, and everybody just kept talking me back into it. Dude, you gotta read it. I'm like, I tried. He thrust his fist against the post and still insists he sees it. I fucking get it.
so
So I'd pick it up and I'd read like a quarter of the fucking book and I'd fucking throw it down again 2 years later. Dude, did you read it?
I, when I was a kid, it has always been my favorite novel of all time.
Really? But you got
Right?
it down to 15 pages.
Oh hell yeah, I did. I used to be able to read that book. The paperback version I had was 1,093 pages. I could
Yeah,
read it in 4 days.
God.
Uh, I read really,
I
really
read it in
fast.
4 years. Like I didn't. I don't like King, man. I've tried. I
Man,
read Christine. I read Dragon's Eye. I read The Body by the Bachman books. I read the Four Seasons. I mean, I've read a lot of King, and every time I'm just
I feel the same way about Anne Rice, right?
yeah.
Like I try to read Anne Rice, and she just like takes 14 pages to describe the fucking room, and I'm like bored to death by the time that happens. I'm like,
Description, man. Just
yeah.
color in the room.
I'm like fucking summarize,
Yeah,
summarize.
there was a place where the person touched the dust, and you could tell it was on the shelf. You could see the shelf there, lonely in the dust. Somebody had gently touched it. Yeah, like Crichton. I got into a lot of Crichton. I still think
Yeah, he's good.
Jurassic Park is probably one of the best books I've ever read in my fucking life. I'll die on that hill. Like I gave that book. I had a paperback. And I bet no less than 7 people read it. But by the time I got it back, it was all fanned out. Pages falling out of it and shit.
Like, why are these stuck together?
Yeah. Oh.
Like somebody really likes
Really
dinosaurs.
like Crichton.
So I'm a huge Stephen King, or not Stephen King, Star Wars fan. Obviously, we already and I'm
Look,
really into.
Jeff, we're on a podcast. By law, you have to be a fucking Star Wars fan.
Oh, for sure.
Otherwise, they take away your whole podcasting credentials.
Yes, they should.
Yes,
they should.
They should.
So I used to be once upon a time in a former life.
Alex,
I was a member of the. I was a member of the 501st. I used to wear my Imperial officer uniform and go to like charity events and hospitals and all kinds of shit. And it was a lot of fun uh, and a lot of fucking drama.
Oh yeah,
But it was good. Some of the people are are very very militant
yeah.
about their costuming standards, and I used to get in trouble all the
Well, they
time.
got nothing else to do in their mom's basement. You might as well get real militant on the Empire. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only thing left to do. That and jack off. But like,
So
I'll
like
wash the sheets, Mom. Don't worry about it.
I used to get in trouble all the time because as an Imperial officer, I'd wear my sidearm, right? But
Right.
I would also carry a lightsaber.
Oh.
And so
Oh, dude.
and so it was like
That's
I know
taboo, man.
it was the unforgivable sin.
Yeah.
So I went to a book signing,
Mhm.
and I was there as a member of the 501st with Matthew Stover. He's one of the authors when the what did they used to call it? I can't think of what it's called now. But when the legendary material was actually canon, and
Mhm.
so Stover was one of the writers, and so he was writing a book called Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor at the time. And we were there and we were talking about it and we were kind of laughing. And Stover's kind of a crazy guy. But we were laughing about the fact that people were getting pissed off because I had my lightsaber. And he was like, Jeff, he was like, just wait, brother. I'm like, okay, what? He was like, wait until you read Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor. And now in that book, I tried to get him to put my character in the book, and that didn't happen. But he has stormtroopers and Imperial officers that have lightsabers. So
Oh.
for about 6 months until Disney took over, I was actually canon, and they couldn't say a goddamn thing. It was great.
I was gonna say, there's also this argument. Fuck you. You know, like that. You know, that would be my argument pretty much. It's you can't have a blaster and a lightsaber as a stormtrooper. Fuck you. Come here, I'll kick your ass.
It's funny because then when you look at like
fight me, they're fucking Poindexter.
Oh man, people get heated.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable. But you know, so then I go from all of that stuff, and then I get into the true crime world, which is a very, very interesting world to be in, especially in the current climate in which we all live, right?
Yeah, I watch Snapped like every night, or Dateline, or some shit like that. Something nice to fall asleep to, you know.
Absolutely.
Murder, you know, like she's always like, he's like, don't fuck up. I watch a lot of crime shows.
Well, see, what's funny to me is we have an entire culture of people, right? Specifically women that are nonstop ingesting true crime.
Oh yeah,
for business, right?
yeah.
But then we have
he's watching Lifetime, which is, by the way, the funniest channel on TV.
It is, yeah. All right.
No, I was reading. I've got Facebook Live on here. Tracy just said it's especially heated since late December in the true crime world.
Since late December. Okay.
Is that when Gypsy Rose?
Oh yeah. That explains it. Yeah.
Not just a hat rack. I mean, it is.
Yeah, I like it.
Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I think
yeah. So, boy, I'll tell you, it has exploded. And so, with all the Gypsy Rose stuff going on, I'll be interested to see when that slows down a little bit, if she'll end up getting herself in trouble before it slows down.
Oh, yeah.
So it picks back up. I don't know. I don't know that she will. I hope she doesn't. But, you know, I hope that a lot of people don't end up back in jail. But I don't know what the likelihood of that is.
Okay, here's the scenario. It's not like she's a talented person. You know, it's not like, oh, I've got my movie career now. You know, like she really has nothing to fall back on other than, hey, killed my mom.
Yeah. Well, I heard I heard somebody say it really, really well today. I don't know if it was on a podcast or something, but they were talking about how do you throw somebody who has absolutely no skills, who
Nothing.
has no background,
Right.
has no ability to do
I feel
anything,
very sorry
and
for her, but
no money, right?
yeah.
Directly into celebrity.
They're going to be throwing a bunch of fucking money at her for interviews and shit like that.
Yeah,
People are definitely going to take advantage of her naivety. They're definitely
yeah,
going to run this poor fucking girl ragged. Like,
yep,
so yeah, this is why I say like psychologically, if you put it together, like she only has she's going to have a little bit of money, no education as to how to use it or take care of it.
yep.
And some goon's gonna come along to try to. In fact, I think she's married to the guy. I don't know.
The guy that looks just like her mom,
Yeah. Yes.
which is unbelievable. Those fucking side by side pictures are wild. I'm like, what?
Dr. Freud, your 3:00 is here. Okay.
Yeah, talk about that. Man, I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of Freud, but man, he got it right when it comes to that one. I mean, it's dead on. Like,
Are you one of them fucking Skinnerists, are you? Is that what you are? You fucking Skinnerists? Social cognitive, Jeff Ignatowski.
I try to remain as central as possible.
Okay, I believe if you mix the two, Freud and Skinner, I think you got the right answer. I think if you put them together, you got the right thing because we all conditionally respond. We're all fucking sexual. We're all we have so much more in our being than just A or B.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Absolutely, and I think like with Freud, like how much coke do you have to snort to come up with some of those fucking ideas?
All of it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't snort coke, so I don't. Just
he certainly did.
It looks like I do. I act like I do, but I don't. This is just pure ADD, folks. That's all this is.
Well, which is the same problem for me because I grew up around a bunch of Colombian people, right, trying to get me to snort and sell, and I never did. I never did do that.
You want some cocaine?
Dude, we used to watch fucking Scarface like 3 times a week. It was unbelievable. Yeah, well, like I told you, I grew up right outside of Philadelphia, and where I grew up about 10 years ago was Murdertown, USA. Consequently,
so Jack O'Halloran, who played the bad guy on Superman 2, the big guy with the beard.
Yeah,
I interviewed him. And his family was Murder Inc. His family was
yeah. That's fantastic.
So his story's like.
So my dad was good friends with Angelo Bruno. So half of my family is Italian, right? And so I'm not Italian at all. I'm a quarter Polish, a quarter German, and half Filipino, which is why I have the dark skin and hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But half of my family is all married in Italian. I've got an Uncle Sonny. I've got an Uncle Primo, so like I grew up with people that were all connected, and they had like restaurants that were all fronts for the mob in the 70s.
Right.
And
why don't you come by my restaurant?
Yeah. Like, well, when the riots were happening,
bag for you.
Well, when the riots were happening in Philly in like the late 70s, like all the mafia guys were in front of my family's restaurants with shotguns to make sure that nobody broke in.
Right.
So like a couple weeks before Angelo Bruno was killed, my dad had a sit down with him because my uncle worked at Tandy Leather. He was a manager at Tandy Leather. And there was a guy that they were trying to fire. And the guy said that he was connected. He was an Italian guy, said he was connected in New York. And he was threatening to kill my uncle and the people at Tandy.
Didn't know Bruno, huh?
Yeah, so my dad went and had a sit down with Angelo, and asked him, said, "Hey, I need you to look into this guy. Does he have any connections? Is he connected in New York? What do we need to do?" And so about a week later, yeah, Angelo got back with my dad and said, "No, he doesn't know anybody." So that guy happened to disappear, and they never heard from him. They didn't have to fire him because he just never came back one day.
He just never came back to work no more.
Yeah, so of course,
Jeff, it happens.
It does. So my dad, of course, he got the whole spiel about.
Oh, you are. And like when you know somebody like Bruno, and he tells you that, you go, "Oh, you are." Okay.
Yeah. So my dad was always, he got the whole thing like when I need a favor.
My friend.
Yeah. When I need a favor, I'll call on you. And it just so happens that 3 weeks later, they blew his brains out. And then there's that real famous picture of the guy sitting in his Lincoln with his mouth hanging open in Philadelphia. Yeah. That's Angelo Bruno. They blew the back of his head off with a shotgun from the back seat. God. And so Angelo was dead. My dad
in a car.
Yeah, God. It's not good.
No.
Not good.
Well, it'd have to be sawed off, obviously.
For sure.
But the kickback from a car, because you can't really get a good lean into it, like even a 410, that would have a fucking kick. A 20 gauge, like my 20 gauge full barrel, gives me a rock. Now a 12 gauge, you're going through the fucking roof, like.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
like,
you got this much room and this much room.
I got a 12 gauge next to me right now, right? And it has a, I forget what it's called. It's a compression coil is what it is.
Right.
The stock on it.
It gives you a good.
Yeah. Oh, man, that thing is fantastic. That thing shoots like a dream.
Is that right?
It is fantastic.
The first time I shot, like I weighed probably 75 pounds the first time I shot a 12 gauge, and I shot it with a 3-inch deuce mag, which is just this badass fucking, like my buddy watched me, like it threw me backwards, like I kept taking steps backwards. It literally looked like out of a sitcom kind of a thing, and I'm leaned into it. I know how to shoot. Wow. I've been shooting 410s, I've been shooting 20 gauges, and I'm leaned into it, and it just took me, I bet 10 feet that I stumbled backwards.
Yeah, it's a whole different feel, that's for sure. Because I fired it with and without that, but I got a Mossberg Maverick, and it's nice.
Mossberg, yeah.
Mossberg's nice, but anyway, my dad knew all of those guys. He knew, but my dad always wanted to be a hitman, so I kind of grew up with that.
You're in a dream,
Everybody's got to have one, right? But he wanted to go out there and kill people.
Wanted to be a hitman.
Which is funny because, of course,
my dad always wanted to be hit. So, God, if we could have just got these two guys together, I think it would have been a short-lived friendship.
But it's funny because, I grew up and my dad was in a mental institution when he was younger. He was self-committed, right? In the late.
So was he asking himself, am I a Skinnerist? Am I Freudian? And so he's like, you know what? I better go get this shit checked out. So he checked himself in.
Well, the problem was his girlfriend, I guess, had cheated on him with his best friend.
Oh.
And so he took a bunch of guys and surrounded her house and was gonna kill both of them.
Okay.
And so when he did that, my grandfather kind of got him out of it, and they were going to put him in jail for it, for the terroristic threatening and all of the stuff. And so they were going to put him in jail for like a year, and instead he was able to self-commit to the mental institution and get out of it.
That makes sense. I was going to say that makes more sense.
But the problem was
sociopathical people don't just go and check themselves in.
No. So he was trying to get out of jail, but when he got there, they said that he was he was schizophrenic with homicidal tendencies, was what his diagnosis was. Now, while he was there, they they tried to do shock therapy on him, right? And
Okay.
so he found out that they were going to do that. So he stopped taking the medication that they were giving him, and he called up my grandfather and said, "You got to get me out of here. There's a
Right.
problem."
Yeah.
And so he was
Decided
a
not to have any more
teenager.
Thorazine, huh? That's a
Yeah, he
good
was
boy. Yeah.
he was a teenager,
No
right?
lithium for you.
So as a teenager, he was in the adult section, which was really bad. He ended up meeting a lot of people there, and they ended up getting him out. So he got to go into like another part of the hospital where they had the morgue. One of the orderlies snuck him out into there, and when he went down there, he found his number on one of the drawers,
Whoa,
right
what?
in the hospital. Yeah, his not inmate but prisoner number,
Right,
I
right. Well,
guess.
whatever. Yeah, the serial number that they
Yeah,
give you or whatever.
and
His number
and
was on
he's
one of the drawers?
yeah, he saw that and he said, "I got to get the fuck out of here. They're going to kill me.
They're gonna
They're
whack
planning
you.
on me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
they're
getting
planning
whacked,
on me
dude.
getting killed."
Right.
So he had my grandfather petition the local government to get him out.
Like either
And so
that or they're fucking psychics. I don't think they are.
yeah, not so much. So
Exactly.
he ended up getting out of there, and he got a clean bill of health. Said he was completely sane. Uh, he's got the paperwork.
This is some crazy
So
shit, dude.
so and it's fun. I have not told this story, that specific story, ever. There are a lot of people see me
I
on
got an
podcasts.
exclusive. Woo!
Yeah,
Look at
I
that.
talk
I
about
got an
all.
exclusive, everybody.
At some point, I'm gonna write a book that's gonna include a bunch of that shit when it comes to my dad, because he has had a wild, wild life, and so
That's
you
fucking
know
bad
he.
shit.
So after that, he uh, he ends up meeting Manson in the late '60s, right?
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay. I got to relate. I got it brushed with greatness with Manson. All right. Anyway, you go ahead and I'll tell you. It's not that funny, but anyway, go ahead.
okay, so my story is
Both
actually
of
really
those
funny.
stories are very funny.
So my dad actually meets a couple of the girls. They're out in a park, and
Oh,
they meet a couple of the girls because Manson always had girls around
right,
him. He
right.
always traveled with a bunch of girls, and he was, for a while, when he wasn't in prison, they were very transient, and they were moving around
Mhm.
the country, going and just
Right.
playing music, and doing the whole kind of
He
hippie
was
thing.
almost a
So
monkey.
yeah, yeah. So my dad meets a couple of the girls, and they say, "Hey, you want to go and party?"
Oh no.
And my dad says, "Yeah, you guys got any drugs?" And they're like, "Yeah, but we got to ask Jesus first." So they take him to a park bench, and Manson comes out of this hotel, and he's playing his guitar, and he's sitting down on this park bench, and they go up there, and now my dad is about 6'2" and about 220. And Manson looks at him. He talks to the girls. He says a few words, and he looks at the girls and says, "He can't come to the party." And so my dad gets pissed off and he walks away. He leaves and he talks to his buddy and he says, "Hey, we know where this fucking party is tonight. We're going to go back and we're going to rob that guy of his drugs."
Right.
So my dad and his buddy go back to the hotel and they listen at all the doors and stuff looking for this guy, and they cannot find him. They must have left and went somewhere else to
Yeah.
have the party because they went back and looked. My dad was going to rob fucking Manson.
I was gonna rob Manson.
But I mean, like I told you, he was in the mental institution before this.
Right.
He was, the stuff with Angelo happened much further after this.
Right.
But
Right.
he had always, if Manson would have had enough forethought, my dad would have ended up being Tex.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I like that he's influenceable.
yeah.
Like, as a hitman, you should be kind of influenceable, I guess.
Well, I think that was the problem. Manson didn't want to have anything to do with him.
No, absolutely
my-
not, because he was a threat to Manson's
Yeah.
masculinity, and he wasn't
Yeah.
going to let anybody that was going to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my,
he could absolutely control with drugs
Yeah.
or something else
Yeah.
to continue
Yep.
doing what he wanted to. Yeah. Yeah. Looking at
all
your
right,
old
Manson
man.
story.
Yeah, like, no, he's not invited to the barbecue. No,
No,
no.
no. All right, you had a Manson story.
Yes, I used to build bulk grain bins,
Okay.
and for a sweatshop when I was younger, 100 years ago. And anyway, they'd put on they had these flat loads, is what they call them, but they was grain bins that was all broken down, and then we go out to California and put them together. And I ended up in the San Joaquin Valley outside of Corcoran, which is I looked across the way and there's Corcoran Prison. So I was like, I was right outside of Chuck's house. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so if I looked across the way, I could see where Charlie Manson was right then, and that was back
So
in the late '80s, early '90s.
I did a show over in West Virginia. I did a convention in Moundsville, West Virginia, and at the state prison there. And it's no longer a prison, but they still you can go there.
Oh, okay.
And when I was going there, I went through a little town called I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Anyway, it's a little town in West Virginia. I don't know. It's not next to me, but oh, it is next to me. Why didn't I look this way? McMicken, West Virginia.
What was it?
So in McMicken, West Virginia.
McMicken. I love that name. So when you have a McDonald's, so you go to McMicken and get a McChicken. I would just love that. I got a McChicken at McMicken.
I don't know if they have. It's a little like one light stop town in West Virginia, but it's on the side of a mountain, and that is where Manson grew up.
Oh,
when he was released from the home, the children's home that he was in for some time, when they released him from all of that, he got released to his aunt and uncle's house, which was in McMicken, and his mom
McMicken,
and his mom lived over in Wheeling.
I wonder if their mascot is the chickens, the McMicken.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
McMicken chickens.
Brandy's watching from the Uncorked show on Mosaic. Time for the plug on Mosaic TV. That's right, we're streaming live right now on Mosaic TV. So if you have a Roku device, if you have a Amazon Fire Stick, if you have an Amazon TV, if you have an Android device, download Mosaic TV. See me, see Jeff, see me, see all of our shows on Mosaic TV. Back to you, Jeff.
Yay! Hey. So the house in McMicken where Manson lived and grew up and actually got married. He got married in McMicken.
That's gotta be like a fucking like people gotta be like going there and doing go to mosaictv.com. There you go. And to watch mosaictv.com. There it is. Tracy just straightened me out. Watch mosaictv.com. Go there, see us. You bet, baby. So there's got to be a bunch of fucking weirdos. It's like lining up outside that house and leaving fucking. Oh, there you are. Okay.
I was for sure there.
Jeff, do you have a favorite? Brandy wants to know, do you have a favorite serial killer?
Yes.
Okay, the answer is yes, Brandy. Glad you're asking. All right, so anyway, back to your story.
No, the favorite, at least for the longest time.
You got a favorite serial killer? It's like in the dream boat.
Has always been H.H. Holmes.
BTK, I always thought that's where mine is. It's a BTK and KC. That's where I just made that up actually. I
okay. So that's funny you would mention that because that little mask up above my head there is a replica of BTK's mask.
Oh, really?
One of the masks that he would wear. And so it's funny because
this is disturbing.
Out of all of the serial killers, he is the only one that I've actually spoken to.
You've spoken to him?
Oh, yeah, I've talked to BTK. Matter of fact, this is really funny. This is a funny story. So I know his surrogate daughter, right? There's a girl
in Alaska. But anyway, go ahead.
My friend Ashley Keto, when BTK got arrested and everything, and his family decided to walk away from him, she would go and visit him in prison all the time. and so she still talks to him like twice a week because after COVID they shut down all of his visits and everything. But she has his.
God damn it! When you can't go see a serial killer over
I
COVID,
know it's
what
terrible.
the fuck is this world coming to? Really,
Fucking
what the
COVID.
fuck is this world coming to?
So she has his will and has to spread his ashes when he dies.
So
So I asked her,
who is this?
Dennis Rader, BTK.
No. I mean the person.
Oh, Ashley Keto.
Keto, and that's his.
Yeah. She lives in Davenport. She lives in Iowa now.
She lives in Davenport, right up the road from me. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. She is. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Matter of fact, I think she's taking a trip. I think she's going to Mardi Gras. But
right?
anyway,
as long as she's not going to LaSalle, I'm pretty happy. So.
So anyway, when I was doing the book and everything, I have a book coming out in April, which is awesome, called True Crime Myths.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's called True Crime Myths and Legends. Dennis Rader is the last chapter in that book.
Okay.
And I started out trying to write a book. I was going to write one book in 3 parts. I was going to start out with serial killers and then do criminals and then do cults and religions. And I got about halfway through and I was about 40,000 words in. And I was like, oh, shit, I think I'm going to have to do 3 volumes because I'm already at 40,000 words and I haven't even got done like half of this shit. So
don't you hate that when it just starts flowing? Like
yeah,
because I just do comedy, so like I just write like little snippets, like I don't have to have like a build up, a plateau, a climax. I don't have to have any of that shit. So real quick, Tracy wants to know, ask him about the killer game. It's all about serial killers. I'm trying to get Tori to play it with me.
Oh, yeah. So Killers the card game is my original game. It is nope, that way.
Okay.
That there is the original cover, but it is a cross between like D&D and Magic. So you get like a stable of 5 killers. So you play with your 5. Your goal is to get 10 kills or be the last killer standing. So during the game, you have to abduct and kill your victims. You have to avoid the police, and you got to avoid the other players.
Okay. You're fucked up, Jeff.
Oh, for sure. Did I not start out this whole interview by saying that?
Holiday, tell it like it is. Giving it to you straight. Hey, you're fucked up, man. Hey, all right. There's Dillinger.
Yeah. So all the cards have little bios on the back and everything. Yeah, these are the older cards. Those are the ones I used to do my 5-minute murder show.
That's cool. Brandy wants to know if she can interview her on her channel sometime.
Absolutely. I'm in.
Reach out to him, Brandy. He's absolutely a delight to have on. He's like super awesome. So, like, I think we could hang. Actually, I think you and I could probably hang. Like.
Let me show you this shit. I just got this today.
All right. That's fun.
It's a fucking, in the sideshow.
Yeah, I get it.
You got the Wheel of Death, and I'm gonna take that and give away a whole bunch of shit at my next convention.
I wish my wife was in here listening to this. She'd be shitting herself because she just fucking loves this true crime stuff. Dude,
it is it's been crazy, like the amount of people. Because I do conventions all over the country, right? I'm fucking all over the place. Like here in a couple of weeks, I'll be in Kansas City.
Like this is what you do.
So no.
Oh, okay.
So I have a full-time job. I work full-time for Cintas. So I drive a truck.
House.
No. Golly.
Yeah.
No. Oh no, neither me. That would be creepy.
Yeah, I was acting like you. Yeah, I was like.
Okay, no. I deliver uniforms.
Okay. No.
And
I poke things with a fork for my living. It's a
people, only people though.
Only people. Right.
Only people. So anyway, I work for Cintas full time, And then my business, I actually have three businesses now. I have the gaming company that I run that creates and sells all of the different true crime games that I make. I am releasing my sixth game in March on Kickstarter, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But I also have a business where I do public speaking. So I talk about serial killer psychology. I talk about, inside the mind of a killer live. I have a talk on that. And now true crime myths and legends. That also encompasses my writing. The book is part of that. And then I also have a clothing company, and I make all kinds of wild shit there. Like I wanted to wear my Valentine's Day Ed Gein shirt, but I couldn't find it.
Oh,
So it's fucking got Ed Gein on it, a big heart, and it says, "I love you enough to wear your skin." It's so touching. I know.
That's love. I love you so much. I'm gonna eat your heart.
So, common misconception, and I actually cover this in the book. Ed Gein was never a cannibal.
Really?
No, he never ate anybody.
Huh.
Dahmer, cannibal.
A good chainsaw and like a perk little body, like that's who doesn't, like
he had more fun putting the skin back on himself than he did eating any of it. He actually said that,
you think he ever did that Buffalo Bill thing in the mirror? I'd fuck me. Like
I don't know if he did it, but I've done it. I mean, who the fuck hasn't? I'm just saying. Sometimes you got to learn how to tuck.
Exactly. Who hasn't done the tuck? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're fucked up, dude.
There's a reason why I was encouraged to be here.
I'm glad you were. I absolutely glad. I've had just the absolute best time with you. We're coming up on 45 minutes, which is where I like to keep it because of commercials and stuff like that. If it starts going to Mosaic really starts hitting, getting, yeah. So, but I definitely want to have you back on again. What I want you to do right now, though, is I want you to tell everybody about you. We never really because I usually go, well, let's go into story time. We didn't have to do that. It was just so fucking fluid that it was amazing. And I really appreciate that, Jeff. It was such a good time having you on, and I appreciate you having you on. I'm going to definitely have you on again.
Absolutely.
I usually wait like several months, you want to break it up a little bit, but absolutely
for sure.
Gonna have you back on. But I want you to tell everybody about you, where they can send you money, where they can get a hold of your merchandise, everything. So you've got the floor. Go, baby.
All right. So you can go. There's two ways to get to me. You can go to scorpionlairgames.com. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Many have tried.
I'm not gay, but you're a good-looking man. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate that. I mean, I get more and more gray.
Compliment. So, anyway,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, scorpionlairgames.com. You can go there and pick up any of the games or anything. The other one that you can go to that is really helpful, it has all of my other links on it, the clothing company, all of that shit. You can go to Linktree/KillersTCG. That's the other one that you can get to.
Say it again.
Linktree/KillersTCG. And that'll get you to all of my shit. On March 12th is when the Profiler will be hitting Kickstarter. That game is going to be the #1 party game to learn how to criminal investigate. Like, I am not fucking around. Like, you are going to be able to play that game. And if you love CSI and all of that shit, you are going to be able to go through like the police reports.
Mindhunter, I still think is the best one. That's because I'm a big Hannibal Lecter fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Hannibal Lecter. When I was, I think I was, I was like 19, 20, and I just read Red Dragon, and Lecter and the Red Dragon were like over my bed, and I could hear, and they were coming to get me because I read their secrets in the fucking book, and I was crawling towards my fucking top drawer. Like I woke up going toward my top drawer to get my fucking gun. Like it fucked me up that bad. So
Man.
yeah, and Mindhunter, I think Mindhunter is probably one of the best, aside from the Silence of the Lambs series. I think Mindhunter has been the best fucking thing that came out that was just that good.
Yeah, for sure. It is an incredible show. I heard that before they had all the strike and shit, that Netflix had picked it up to do a third season. And
Well,
I don't know what.
Too fucking bad they didn't, because it's dumb as fuck that they didn't. They could have even gotten a different. They could have got a different lead man and went into a whole different era of serial killing and a whole. I think that is because of where it started out. Like the origin of it was with him. I think that's where that was. But they could have picked up like, this is another guy. Like.
Oh yeah, because there's so many. Like I'm sure that Catherine Ramsland would be completely in on that, and she was one of the contemporaries with Wrestler and John Douglas and everything, who that show is based on. She was one of the people that came right after them. That was like, she was a student of Wrestler, and so and she's now written like 50 books, and actually she helped me.
I didn't know anything about
the
that,
game.
but there you go.
Yeah,
exactly that. I think they really dropped the ball on that. But look at there. Oh, there it is.
That is the all in on the Kickstarter. Like, this is the big package. Comes in the aluminum attaché case that you could smack somebody in the head with and kill them.
I love that it's aluminum attaché case. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody, you can find us on Mosaic TV. If you have a Roku device, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, if you have an Amazon TV, if you have an Android, download Mosaic TV. See us on there. And as always, if you like a show, send them some fucking money. It's the cheapest entertainment you're ever going to get. Send them $1 if you like it. Send me $1 if you like it. My Worst Holiday at patreon.com. And as always, I love everybody. You can find me at myworstholiday.com. And with that being said, hang out for a minute after we're done here, Jeff. From a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been My Worst Holiday. Good night, everybody.